Hello friends, welcome to our channel Chemistry with Coffee. Today I came up with a special topic as said last week. The topic is how to study smart and effectively. Let's jump right in. Every student in the world would love to get an A+ grade with less study time spent. Actually, there is a way to achieve this feat, but we always tend to use routine and ineffective study suggestions from our close circle, like sleep less, reread the same material, use highlighter, study before the exam. Unfortunately, these are very ineffective suggestions. Today, I came up here with a research and experience based 10 effective learning strategies to outperform in the class and get the highest grade you always wanted. Before knowing each one of them, let's have a quick look. First one, strong motivation. Second one, planning. Third one, collecting quality materials. Fourth one, customizing your study environment. Fifth one, sleeping a little more. Sixth one, spacing out your study sessions. Seventh one, more testing. Eighth one, mixing your study subjects. Ninth one, explaining to yourself. 10th one, questioning the idea. Having a passionate goal keeps you motivated throughout the journey to reach your goal. Without a strong motive makes you deviated and bored in the middle of preparation. For example, if you want to get into graduate school to pursue PhD in psychology, to contribute to the scientific research, then this will be a great motivation for you to prepare for the GRE exam without any deviations. Thus, it is very important to have a highly interested ambition at first. Otherwise, the learning techniques we will be discussing in a little while will be useless. So very important are you need to have a strong purpose, strong passion and strong motivation for the goal you chose. As Mother Teresa said, yesterday is gone, tomorrow has not yet come, we have only today, let us begin. So begin with a schedule of your study plan for the entire time available. For example, if you have a semester time for your chemistry final exam, that is about 4 months, plan setting monthly deadlines first, then break it down to weekly deadlines and later to each day of a week. Having a plan beforehand let you know how far you are progressed towards the final goal. Like if the chemistry syllabus has 12 chapters in total, each month you can read about 4 chapters. It takes 3 months to complete the 12 chapters, then the final month to review and practice. If each month you are studying 4 chapters, that is 1 chapter for a week, that is you can complete the chapter on alternate days of a week, leaving a day for the review. Having a detailed plan for each day helps in many ways. First, it reduces last minute stress. Second, it is a spaced out learning technique which we will be discussing in a little bit. Third, you can plan entertainment activities occasionally in the free time. Finally, life is not all about study, right? Having more than one material can be confusing at first, but after thoroughly learning one notes, it is like a repetition to go over the extra notes. By studying extra notes might get you with new points. Moreover, having all notes together in the beginning of the preparation helps you waste no time searching for material while you are nearing the exam. So, get all your stuff together. Coming to the study environment, there is no one gold standard. You will have to see which will work best for you. Some people like to listen to music like me when they are studying, while others feel like to study without any noise. No method is bad as far as it helps you learn better. Remember that we are not made identical. Many people prefer to study in a closed room on a chair with table. You might choose to go out to the park and study. No one is stopping you, but studying in a park should help you perform better. Even some people use perfumes in their rooms. Some drink coffee or tea while studying. Others put headsets on, listen to music, some sit and study, others walk and study, etc. So people does all kinds of stuff to get their study going. Similarly, you can customize your study environment as you like, but remember, it should not hinder your learning. Can you function without sleep? Of course, not very well. Because sleep is very important to our functioning, still we value it less. And a lot of things are happening as we are lying on the bed asleep. Dr. Robert Stiggold is a professor of psychiatry at the Harvard Medical School, whose research focuses on the relation between sleep and learning. He says that sleep is not a dead time as we think, but a very useful thing introduced by the evolution. During sleep, our brain processes, strengthen and retain information. He points out that for every 2 hours of wakeful learning, we need 1 hour for our brain to understand and store the information. In a human experiment at his lab, first group trained on a task in the morning and tested in the evening, while the second group trained on the same task in the evening, allowed to sleep and tested the next morning. The second group, which was trained in the evening and tested in the morning, performed 20% better than the first group. This shows how important sleep is in our learning process. Many researchers discovered that quality and quantity of sleep affects our learning and memory, while lack of good night sleep reduces attention and learning. The reason behind this is that neurons in the brain process, strengthen, and store information during our sleep. That is, as you are sleeping, your brain is working on the information you have learned during the day, trying to understand, trying to interrelate with previous ideas, and checking which information to store and which to throw out. So, lot of editing and arrangement is happening as we sleep. Hence, sleep is not a waste of time but a valuable tool gifted by the evolution, which helps storing information from the short-term memory into our long-term memory. Okay, so far I have shared the foundation study tips. From here onwards, we will be discussing about the research-based effective learning techniques, extensively reviewed by Dunlowski and his colleagues in their elaborate research review paper published in 2013. Also, there is a ton of research published on the below mentioned study methods. So let's get into it. Spaced practice. Spacing effect is first discovered by German psychologist Dr. Hermann Ebbinghaus. Spaced out study is highly effective learning technique. Instead of studying the entire syllabus in one sitting, the effective way is to do it in multiple sessions. Let's say you have about 1 month for the physics test and you haven't studied anything. The effective method is to study daily 1 hour for the next 30 days rather than sitting 30 hours straight before the exam. According to neurobiologists at the University of California at Irvine, Christine Gall and Gary Lynch findings, the reason is that when provided with intervals between study sessions, memories are stored better in the hippocampus of brain. Several other research findings also support this idea that during gaps between study sessions, our brain process and interconnect ideas which help retain the information better. Even we think we forget information over time, some information is stored in the subconscious mind which cannot be recalled but helps our relearning. On the other hand, the massed study or studying in one session is very inefficient learning method in retaining the information. While cramming before the exam might help to get over the exam, but the material decays soon. Testing effect is when a specific information is tested again and again, increases our long-term memory, first published by Abbott in 1909. Later, Carrier and Pashler discovered that testing indeed produced better results. They did an experiment where first group of subjects were tested after learning a material, while second group were not tested after they studying the same material. Both groups were evaluated for the retained information. The first group, which was tested, showed better results than the second one. Most of the recent studies support this idea that testing increases long-term retention of the material studied before. Mixed practice is studying one subject or topic for some time and then switching to a related subject or topic. This process of switching goes on like this in a study session. Research findings suggest that mixed practice helps students in strengthening their long-term memory and making associations between the subjects and topics. For example, if you are preparing for medical entrance exam, study biology for some time, about 45 minutes, then switch to chemistry for 45 minutes and later changed to psychology for another 45 minutes. In brief, mixed practice involves recalling information from long-term memory, so it is difficult but gives good results. Self-explanation means explaining a topic to yourself. Some of us may have been using this method for a long time. For example, if you are studying squares in mathematics by yourself for the first time, based on the solved problems like 2 power 2 is equal to 4, 2 power 3 is equal to 8, 2 power 4 is equal to 16. Likewise, if you can conclude the logic behind it by yourself and solve the next question, that is 2 power 5 is equal to how much? 2 power 5 is equal to 32. That shows you are using self-explanation strategy. Bisra and his colleagues states that self-explanation is one of the good learning method where students reach conclusion based on reasoning by themselves. Humans are curious animals and we like to ask questions like why often. The research work of Presley et al. Wilby and Wood suggests that elaborative interrogation helps students learn better. In their experiment, first group has been encouraged to generate explanations on their own to the questions like why is this happened, has better learning than the control group which was provided with explanations. The research data says that elaborative interrogation encourages students to associate new information with their previous knowledge to form new knowledge. Before wrapping up, let's review all the learning techniques once again. Okay, I hope you understood the value of these research-based and highly efficient learning methods and believe you will be using them in the upcoming exams. Please support our channel Chemistry with Coffee by pressing like and subscribe button. See you next week with a new video on column chromatography.